Okay guys, in this next problem we're asked to convert 3 quarts to cups. So convert 3 quarts to cups. And the first thing I need to ask myself, so step 1, what I want to do is ask myself, do I know how many cups are in 1 quart? And the truth is, I don't unless I have a formula chart. So this is, if I'm looking at my formula chart, what I'll notice is that the formula chart doesn't tell me directly how many cups are in 1 quart. So basically the only thing I know is that I do not know how many cups are in 1 quart. Well, if you look down at your formula chart, you'll see that 1 pint, I'm going to spell that out, and then just make a note that's PT here, abbreviated for PT. Well, 1 pint is equal to 2 cups. Also, I know that 2 pints, if I doubled 2 pints, that equals 1 quart. So 1 quart is equal to 2 pints. Okay, well, how does this help me answer how many cups are in 1 quart? Well, let's just change colors real quick, and we can look down at our formula chart. If you kind of zigzag around, starting with the cups, you move to 1 pint, and you can see if you just zigzagged around here and move from 1 pint to 2 pints, then you end up running into how many pints are equivalent to 1 quart. So you can actually just kind of follow along a path to figure out how many cups are in 1 quart. And the bottom line, all you really have to do is say, well, if all you did was double 1 pint to get to 1 quart, all you have to do then, if you double 1 pint, is double 2 cups. So 4 cups should be equal to 1 pint. So, or 1 quart in this case. So 1 quart is equivalent to 4 cups. Okay, we're done with step 1. Let's move on to step 2 real quick. I'm just going to create a little bit of a divider. And now we're on step 2, which is to set up a blank proportion here. So I've got this stuff is equivalent to this stuff. And let's set up this proportion so that we write it as we read it or see it. I see quarts come first, followed by cups. So I'm going to set it up with quarts first, followed by, that should be a Q right there, quarts followed by cups. If I do it to this side, I've got to do it to the other. So quarts first, or quarts on top, and cups on bottom. And now all I have to do is match up the corresponding values with their unit measures. So 3 will go on top with the quarts, and I don't know how many cups there are, so let's just use a variable. We'll use the variable n. So 3 is to n as, and now I get to go over to my formula chart that I created over here. We're dealing with 1 quart and 4 cups. How many cups are in a quart? So let's ask ourselves, where does that 4 go in this ratio? Well, since 4 corresponds to the cups, and then I've got to put the 4 down in the denominator here, which means 1 will go on top. So 3 is to n as 1 is to 4, and we're going to take the cross products of n and 1, 3 and 4. So I have 1 times n set equal to 3 times 4. Well, let's take a look at 1 times n real quick. Using, if you remember back to the identity property of multiplication, multiplying any value by the number 1 doesn't change that other value. So 1 times n, well, it's really the same thing as 1n, or simply n. I'm going to just kind of put that cloak of invisibility over that 1 there in that multiplication symbol. So I really have n. Let's fix that in though, make it look a little neater. So n is equal to, well, 3 times 4 is 12. But we've got to plug in the correct units here, and since we're converting to cups, n is equal to 12 cups, or in this problem, 3 quarts is equal to 12 cups. Cool stuff. Let's take a look at one last problem. Okay, in this last problem, we're told that we have a set of football goal posts, and they are 30 feet tall. And we want to know how many inches this is. So we're going to convert 30 feet to inches. And we don't know how many inches they are. So in step 1, all we have to do is ask ourselves, how many inches are in 1 foot? Well, I know there are 12 inches in 1 foot. Therefore, I can move straight forward to step 2. So in step 2, we're going to set up our blank proportion. And looking at the problem, I'm going to plug feet in first. They come first, so feet are on top and inches are on bottom. If I do it to this side, let's do it to the other side. Feet on top, and inches on bottom. And now I can plug in or match those values up. So I have 30 feet to our unknown value. Let's just put a G down here for goalposts. And we know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So let's plug 12 on bottom because it's 12 inches to 1 foot on top. Now we can take those cross products. So I have 1 times G, or simply 1G, is equal to 30 times 12. So in reality, remember that identity property of multiplication tells us, let's just cover up that 1. I'm just going to kind of hide it. So now we have G. So now we have G here is equal to, well, 30 times 12. Some people might want to pull out that calculator, but remember this is just quick, simple math. If I take 3 and multiply it by 12, I get 36. And then all I have to do from there is bring that 0 down. So 360. Well, it's 360. We're converting to inches. So 30 feet is equivalent to 360 inches. And now some people might say that's a really tall order. That's a big number. But the truth is, just remember, we're using different units, and these inches are much smaller than feet. So when you make measurements, you'd have to make, if you were just using measuring inch by inch, you'd have to do it 360 times to find out the equivalent to 30 feet. Cool stuff, guys. I'll see you in the next problems.